Alice, don't you dare attach that foot to my ankle. It's a valuable lesson. And yes, I plan to make it hurt. Ah, Johnny, I'm not entirely certain. It's definitely a dark, menacing cavern. Stop to these dastardly villains!
Misguided things that Cadwell has ever done. This may be the worst of the betrayer. He has all the parts of Cadwell. Mansa would need that as well. I managed to scry Cadwell's portal before it winked out. It connected to an
What?
Careful where you flaunt your wealth, Walker.
You took your time. Let's talk. Travel never used to take this much out of me. Oh well. Now that you're here, the Adept and the Prefect volunteered to scout ahead. They haven't returned. That means it's up to us. We must stop Zumog Foom from reanimating Cadwell the Betrayer. Something has prevented them from returning. I can only assume the necromancers or their undead have done them in. Where they were forestalled, we must prevail. Otherwise, Zumog Foom and the dragons get one step closer to fulfilling their plans. Don't be a fool. Our first priority is to stop Zumog Foom and keep him from aiding the dragons. After that, we can worry about everything else. Provided we survive, of course. Cadwell, what happened to you?
Fun whole spot. They ripped it out of me. I'm afraid I bungled this one royally, old friend. I opened a portal, meant to put the villainous Zumog Foon to the sword. He got the better of me. The necromancer stole my essence, flung it to assorted ritual sites throughout the lair. Now I'm weak and my old body is being restored. The big cat and the Imperial, they arrived shortly after I did, but they didn't fare much better. I'm not sure what Zumog Foon did with them. I've just been standing here trying to recover enough strength to give it another go. Charge me up again? Capital idea, and I agree. We can't let the betrayer join the dragons. That reminds me of a time. No. Can't think. Too weak. I'll stand with you as long as I can. Could use a bit of a lie down, though.
I'll delay Zumog Foom's ritual as long as I can. You take Cadwell and see if you can recover his stolen energy.
Ah, good old Abner. The nastier he treats you, the more you know he loves you.
You left us to die, Kalo.
Our blood is on your hands.
No! I won't allow you to interfere with the ritual! Flesh from your bones!
Scatter!
That glowing cloud. It's holding this ritual together.
Refreshing. Let's find the rest of me and put it back where it belongs.
You were never strong enough, Zamorak. I died because you were weak. Praying to the moons won't save you, cat. Interloper. Just more fuel for the ritual.
Failed. Again.
Welcome back, little energy. I missed you so.
You're a senile old fool, half-brother. How could you be so reckless? The dragons are your fault!
Your ash will destroy you, Amber.
Did you know I used to be a High Chancellor? No, wait. No, that bit belongs to Abner.
Five Claw. This one doesn't have much time. Nalado should not be here. This one should be prowling the sand behind the stars and preparing for the next pounce, not lingering in this fetid tomb. Zumog Fum called Nalado back. He planned to use her in a foul ritual, but dead or no, Nalado is still a soldier. His follower never stood a chance. This one sensed something. Decided to wait here a little longer. Nalado thought the cloud of energy reminded her of the strange knight adorned in cookware. This one thinks she absorbed the energy when she killed the necromancer and disrupted this part of the ritual. Return it? Perhaps, though that will certainly shred this spirit form. No matter, Nalado no longer belongs in this realm. Tell Queen Carmira and Garashri that Nalado says farewell. Now, prepare yourself, strange knight. This belongs to you.
Think you can stop me? Neither you nor that bumbling corpse stand a chance! Your life is mine! Let the essence of death flow free!
I'm fading away. Oh, jolly good shell. Of course I planned to deal with the orc myself once my reanimation was complete. Now that I'm whole, I have a destiny to fulfill. So, cheerio. I always heard that introspection could be difficult, but meeting yourself. No one likes to discover that they were a tallow catch. Try not to hold it against me. Him and me were two sides of a dented coin. I don't think the world can handle more than one Cadwell at a time. My essence, I feel it draining away. Strange as the end approaches, so does clarity. You will try to stop him for me, won't you? Finish what I started a long, long time ago. I remember how we stopped the dragons. Kunzari and I, we tricked Count Gronti, used his own ambition against him, convinced him to place a portion of his power in Jode's core. Count Gronti ordered his brothers to follow suit. Once weakened, we were able to trap them in the halls of Colossus. Then the betrayer, then I killed Kunzari. I earned that name. I planned to steal the power, but Anequina's adepts, I'm still here. Chimera, she looks like Anequina. So pretty. Anequina possessed a key to a special place. That's where I learned to use portals. Luckily, they cut off my head and dismembered me before I could reach Jode's core. I guess you have to chop him up. Tell Chimera she has to be, and look after the honor and sleep.
a moon priest. Could that be the key to using the dragon horn?
The same notion occurred to me, Queen Chimera.
Wait, here comes Tarn and the others. Five Claw, talk to me. I am happy to see you and the others, Five Claw, and I'm eager to hear what happened. Wait, where is Cadwell? That does not bode well. The betrayer of Kunzari was a great hero who became a terrible villain. It took all the remaining champions and the moon priests of Anequina to stop him. But how does the betrayer's return help the dragons? A special place? That does not give us a lot of information to go on, Five Claw. Did Cadwell tell you anything else before he disappeared? The ancient legends. I have been studying them. They mention Jode's core, a vault of some kind. Kunzari tricked the demons into storing their power there, though now we know that the demons were dragons. A metaphor, yes? As for a key... Everyone, meet in the royal study. I have something to show you. Cadwell spoke of Anequina, one of Kunzari's champions. He mentioned a key. I think he meant my pendant.
Zamorak remembers. Your mother wore it before you. Does it have more than sentimental significance?
It hides me from magical detection. Mother would take my pendant in her hand and whisper, "When Kunzari smiled, Anequina asked the moons to move for him."
The Shadow Dance Temple ruins. Is that where the betrayer has gone?
I discovered as a young girl that the pendant and this ancient map interact in interesting ways. I learned the stories of Kunzari from my mother. Did I tell you she was a moon singer before she married my father? She said the pendant once belonged to Anequina. I am related to Anequina. Direct descendant, according to the moon priests. An ancient ruin. The place was once the Shadow Dance Temple, but now it is nothing but tumbled stones. Still, Cadwell indicated the pendant was the key to finding the betrayer. What else do we have to go on? Yes, from Kunzari's story. He tricked the demons into giving him their power. Then Anequina moved the moon so he could store the power in Jode's core for safekeeping. Of course, now we know the demons of the story were actually the dragons. In their weakened state, Kunzari was able to trick the dragons and trap them in the halls of Colossus. But one of his companions betrayed him, stabbed him in the back, and went to the place of the Dark Dance to steal the demon power. I think you are right, Five Claw. The betrayer must want to finish what he started in the ancient time. But the dragons also want that power. Are they working together? Either way, we need to get to the temple ruins. As we saw on the map, the ruins lie in the foothills east of the Scar, between Orcrest and the town of Hakoshe. We will meet you there.
need to send your Cygnus irregulars to the Moongate, Prefect Kalo.
Agreed. We've been practicing in anticipation of joining forces for more than a year.
A year? But a year ago we were still enemies.
Perhaps. But I always knew we'd wind up fighting the Uraxians side by side someday.
Prefect Kalo is a very... before you eliminate... not yet.
There aren't a lot of us, but the Cygnus Irregulars will stand with Queen Chimera's forces at the Moongate of Anequina. If the dragons or the remaining Uraxians show up there...
Perhaps a direct approach would be the best.
Chimera's waiting for you inside. If the dragon circling overhead spots us, I'll try to drive it off.
Zamorak will assist.
Yes, I'm sure your fists will make all the difference.
If there is more to this ancient temple, I do not see a way to access it. This is the right place. I can sense it. But nothing in this chamber looks like it can make the moons move, or open a path to Joan or Jode. What are we missing, Fiveclaw? And Riddlethar knows I have tried everything I can think of. I held it out, I presented it forcefully, I even shook it vigorously, but nothing happened. I do not know what else to do. My memories and the Kunzari stories, everything jumbles together. Too much research has crowded my mind. Wait, maybe... I remember one thing Mother used to say. Maybe if I repeat her words while I hold the pendant. When a Nequina's blood calls, the shadow dance begins.
By the moons, you opened the path.
You go ahead. Zamorak and I will deal with the dragon outside. Somehow.
Moons watch over you. Come, Fiveclaw. Let us see where this leads. Beautiful. Why was this hidden for so long? This place has guardians, it seems, but they could not stop the betrayal. betrayer sent, he came this way. That relic. See what you can make of it, Five Claw. Spirits awakened. The temple recognized me. I am becoming attuned. Another temple relic. Activate it for me. The temple relic, Five Claw. Activate it so the process of attunement can continue. The temple showed us the ancient past. After the betrayer killed Kudzari and came to this holy place, he killed the moon priest to force his attunement. The voices of Joan and Jode grow dim. Activate the relic now, please. I need to do this properly. When Anequina performed her attunement, Kunzari accompanied her and activated the relics. The temple identifies me as Anequina, so you must be Kunzari. Somewhere ahead of us, on his way to the temple sanctuary to make the moons move. I need to finish my attunement before we face him. So, please, Five Claw, let us get on with it. there's an eclipse. That opens the way to Jode's core.
It's almost a shame how Inequina's faithful keep throwing themselves at my blade. Almost. It's almost a shame how Inequina's faithful keep throwing themselves at my blade. Almost.
Temple relic. There it is. Activate it, please. To reach the temple sanctuary. Wait, my friend. Let us talk before we confront the betrayer. The ancient memories become clearer in my mind with every passing moment. We follow the same path as the heroes of legend. Kunzari, Anequina, the Betrayer, they all walked these steps to reach Jode's core. I see the truth of the myths and legends. Kunzari tricked Calcrontid into storing the might of the dragons in Jode's core. Then, the heroes of the Krajun lured them into the halls of Colossus and sealed the doors. Yes, he murdered Kunzari and then came to this temple to gain the power to move the moons and open the way to Jode's core. You see, the path only appears at the moon gate of Anequina when the moons are aligned, as in an eclipse. True. But many died before they lopped off his head. The Betrayer was the greatest warrior of his day. If it comes to a battle, it will not be an easy one. There is an apparatus in the sanctuary, linked to the larger moon gate. That is what we seek. We are about to enter the place where the Betrayer faced his greatest failure. Where he died at the hands of the remaining heroes and moon priests. We must make sure history repeats itself. The shade of Anequina darkens with rage whenever I think about him. Even before his betrayal, she detested the man. He was vain, proud, a great sword fighter, but full of ego and hubris. Perhaps that is his weakness, his pride.
I'm going to share the power with the dragon. Magnanimous! I can strike from any direction. This isn't quite.
Something is wrong. We cannot stop the eclipse. The Betrayer did something to the apparatus. The moons cannot hear my plea. No. The Betrayer has set the moons in motion, and they will not answer to my song. There is nothing to stop the dragons from using the moon gate of Anequina to reach Jode's core. Not yet. This apparatus moves the moons, but the moon gate of Anequina creates the portal to Jode's core. Luckily, I sent forces there to defend it from the dragons. We will join them. But first, the memories tell me we have one more task here. Anequina's memories show me how she once used the dragon horn. The combat dragon horn you gave me. It needs to be energized, have its power restored. Activate the nearby temple relic, and I will charge the dragon horn. All of it, into the dragon horn.
A dip in cold water is refreshing, pleasant, and I'm fit as a fig tree. Now, where's the evil me? Where is the fiend? Let me at him. I returned as soon as I could to help you give the betrayer a good thrashing. I feel tip-top, I must say. I thought it was the cozy confines of my beloved Cold Harbor, but I suppose it has more to do with the destruction of my other half. Well, that doesn't sound good. Let me think. If I concentrate, I can recall what was going through my despicable other self's mind. He wanted to make sure no one could stop the path from opening. He promised the dragons. I'm afraid not, at least not from here. He did something to the apparatus. It can't be used again. Chimera might be able to separate the moons, but she'd need to do it at the moon gate. She looks a little peaked, though, doesn't she?
I am all right. Cadwell, can we use your portal to return to Rimmon?
Of course, Chimera. It's ready.
The eclipse approaches, and with it the opening of the moon gate of Anequina. We have a short amount of time before the way to Jode's core appears. At least I am attuned, and I was able to charge the Dragonhorn. Gareshri has already gone to the moon gate of Anequina to take charge of the forces there. We will join him shortly. Thank you for helping with my attunement, Five Claw. With you and my ancestors beside me, we will find a way to stop the dragons. We stopped the betrayer, but not before he set the moons in motion. Soon they will align. When the eclipse occurs, the moon gate of Anequina will open and grant access to Jode's core, which is exactly what the dragons desire. Some, but not a lot. Luckily, we anticipated the connection to the moon gate and sent Gareshri ahead with whatever forces we could spare, which was not as much as I would like. I just wish we had something else to fall back on. The combat Dragonhorn is charged, but we still do not know its full capabilities. We must not waste its energy, so we will save it until absolutely necessary. We should make our way to the Moon Gate now. Tell our companions, it is time. Our companions left the palace to wander Rimmon and consider what is to come. Find Abner Tarn, Zamorak, and Prefect Kalo. Cadwell too, if he is still around. I would like them to join us at the Moon Gate, but will understand if they decide not to. I can only tell you what I experienced. I became one with the temple, with all its memories and past experiences. I connected with my bloodline, with the first Anequina herself. I was attuned. I underwent the process of attunement, the same as Anequina and the moon priests of the temple, the same as Cadwell. I know how to make the moons move, provided we find a working lunar lattice apparatus. Some of the stories about Anequina speak of her teleporting from place to place. I see something about portals, but it does not make much sense. Perhaps when I have had 1,000 years to practice, I will be as competent as Cadwell, yes? The ancient structure rises out of the jungle far to the southwest. To think, a place known primarily as a pilgrimage stop and historical curiosity may turn out to be the site of Elsewhere's most crucial battle yet. The Moon Gates are among the oldest ruins in Elsewhere. Of the few sites we know of, the Anequina ruin is the most well-preserved. Moon priests consider it sacred. The Riddle Thar ties it to the lattice. The rest of us, we see a pile of old rocks.
Quiet moments to meditate have been rare since Zamorak returned to Elsewhere. This one needed some time alone, especially after helping Tharn with the dragon at the Shadow Dance ruins. But you look like one who has important news, my friend. Zamorak suspected that would be our next destination. This one noticed that the moons have shifted in the sky, moving in a way that breaks their usual pattern. The betrayer's doing, yes? At least you and Queen Kamira returned from the ruins. Then we still have a chance. Zamorak has pledged his honor to Queen Kamira. He will not break that vow. This one has a purpose again, and will see it through no matter the cost. Zamorak will meet you at the Moon Gate, my friend. Queen Kamira, attuned to the lunar lattice. Zamorak never expected to see such a miracle in his lifetime. This one prays that it will be enough when we stand against the dragons. About what you would expect. Tharn used flashy spells to confuse the dragon until it finally gave up and flew away. Then, we encountered a squad of Uraxians led by a necromancer. Those Zamorak dispatched. It was the least this one could do.
Hello! Come to partake in a before-the-battle cleansing? I find it prudent to make myself pristine prior to the start of a slaughter. In my experience, the subsequent blood and gore adheres much better to a well-laundered body. The Moongate. I hope to wash away the memories of the betrayer, and some stenches cannot be removed with soap and water. I'm sorry I made the moons move, my friend. Sorry I helped the dragons. But before I became the gallantly gaunt, soul-shriven form you see today, I was the betrayer. I originally did all the terrible deeds that led us to this place. I'm rather ashamed. Dash it all. Yes, of course, that was my plan all along. Make up for my past atrocity by helping the nice cat people defeat the evil dragons, just like the hero I was before I became the betrayer. Tally-ho, then. I'll head to the Moongate now and meet you there. As nice as these facilities are, I miss the boiling plasm pools of cold harbour, hot enough to melt the skin right off your bones. What an invigorating sensation. And your point is?
The quiet moments. I've been waiting for the order to move out. I sent most of the Cygnus irregulars on ahead with Gareshri, but a small contingent remained here in case our earlier guess was wrong. I assume events in the ruins confirmed our theory? Understood. We need to defend the Moongate and stop the dragons from using it when it opens. Keep them from reaching Jode's core. Well, at least now we have a mission. I just hope the Khajiit can get over their aversion to working with my troops. Queen Euraxia's tyranny made the Khajiit wary. I don't blame them for that. I just want to show them that not all Imperials are tyrants, that they can trust at least a few of us. It will come, as long as we don't turn on each other first. I'd prefer if we had another cohort or two at our disposal. Facing a dragon is no small task. And a horde of them, well, that's just excessive. Still, the Cygnus Irregulars will stand with you, whatever the outcome.
Wine used to rejuvenate me after periods of intense exertion and spellcasting. Now I can barely taste the stuff. A good thing too. Khajiiti wine is cloyingly sweet, like drinking candied plums boiled in moon sugar. I presume you have news? The Moongate? A noble but futile proposition, I fear. The Khajiit should pack up and flee while they still can. Let the Alliance armies deal with this. Show them some fights are more important than deciding whose posterior best fits the Ruby Throne. No. Just pondering other options. Too much of what we're facing was the inadvertent result of my actions or the actions of my family. Dragons, Euraxians, necromancers. The responsibility falls to me, and balance must be restored. Would you stand a chance otherwise? Without my arcane and strategic insights, anything you try is destined to fail. I won't have that on my conscience. Now, allow me to finish this sickeningly sweet inebriant, one last indulgence before the end. By the way, I believe I understand the purpose of the dragon horn. After much consideration, the use and function of the ancient instrument has become clear. The Dragon Guard were clever, I'll say that for them. Theoretical knowledge isn't the same as practical experience, but I believe I understand the fundamentals of its operation. The Dragon Guard prepared a horn taken from a massive dragon and engraved it with arcane runes, giving it astonishing power. Oh yes, I'm fairly certain of that. And I found historical references indicating the Dragon Guard gifted such relics to key locations, for their protection, you see. The one you located was originally in Rimmen before it was moved to the Sanctuary. We have neither the time nor resources to move the large relic, but the small horn you brought back, it's called a combat horn, by the way, was designed to be carried into battle. Once charged with energy, its sound weakens dragons. One problem solved then. The next is sheer age. This ancient combat horn is exceedingly fragile. I'm not sure how many times we can sound the horn before it disintegrates into dust. For that reason, I suggest we save it until we absolutely need it.
You saved the main at Drilladon Pass. This one's friend was among the soldiers there.
Shore's bones. Rigert knew he should have brought more mead.
Always there seems...
Watch your step in the stitches.
appears everyone has arrived. Report to Prefect Kalo 5 Claw, while I confer with the Queen.
An eclipse is an eerie sight, but where are the dragons? The moons come together and the sky grows dark. Ominous, isn't it? And strangely beautiful. Where are the dragons, though? And the remaining Euraxians? I assumed they would have started their push for the Moongate by now. As ready as we can be, the Khajiit militia and the Cygnus Irregulars have taken defensive positions along the path up to the Moongate, and whatever siege weapons we could get our hands on are set to repel the dragons. Not a chance. We only hope to slow them enough to give Tharn and Chimera the time they need to stop the Moongate from opening, or find a way to shut it if all else fails. If the dragons don't reach Jode's core, we win. Wait, what's that noise? Dragons, go join Queen Chimera. I'll take charge down here.
Zamorak will go with me.
Get those fires out and ready the ballistic. Move it, soldiers.
Zamorak will go with me. Euraxians. The wall has been breached. Up there. More Euraxians. Here they come. Prepare yourself. More soldiers. Take them down. We need to reach Queen Chimera. Gareshri, no! Stay with me, old master. Gareshri still breathes, but his injuries are serious. He needs a healer. In the meantime, Zamorak knows what he must do. With Gareshri injured, someone else must take command of this position. Make sure the Euraxians and the dragons encounter enough resistance to slow them down. That task now falls to Zamorak. Yes, my friend. This is Zamorak's chance to finally atone for his past mistakes. Wait, what is this? The dragon horn. This one doesn't know why Garishri was carrying this. But you must take it and reach the Moon Gate. Queen Kamira needs you. Go. Now, Five Claw.
Maybe I should have fought left instead of right. Let's try that again. I've got these hooligans, old trout. Let's get to Abner before the moon's completely alive.
See how the moons align with the ancient gate. The lattice opens a path to Jode's core. But how did you get the dragon horn? Where's Garishri? And why are the sounds of battle so close? Did the Euraxians overrun our defenses? Garishri? Hurt? And the Euraxians behind our defenses? This is not good. Not good at all. Well, we still have the dragon horn. At least until the power runs out, or the fragile relic falls apart. Ah, I just wish the moons would move for me. The power, yes, but not the knowledge and experience. I will continue to try to move the moons and close the gate, but you will need to keep the Euraxians from taking this position. I am counting on you, Five Claw. the dragon horn!
Chimera, wait!
Five Claw, we stand on the sacred plane of Jode. The dragons went down into the processional. They seek to breach Jode's core. From the memories I absorbed at the Shadow Dance Temple, Anequina and the Moon Priests came here to honor the moons and set them on their way after their sacred joining. This is also where she helped Kunzari hide the dragon's power. Here, on the plane of Jode, the memories become clearer with every passing moment. Kunzari was able to use Calgronti's own greed against him. The dragon sought the power of Jode's core from the beginning, but Kunzari offered him even more. He offered a way to combine the natural power of Jode's core with the mystic might of his loyal dragons. Calgronti's greed was his undoing. Now, he finally has an opportunity to steal all the stored energy for himself. We must stop him!
Mulamnir, the vermin still pester us. Devour them.
As you say, my brother.
We still guard this sacred place.
Avoid Mulamnir as best you can. Remember?
If we must fight... If we must... Jode's core is close. I can feel it.
And Jode's core. Are you ready for this, Chimera? Calgronteed is absorbing Jode's core. As long as the moons remain aligned, the power flowing through him is unimaginable.
Get me to that platform, Tarn. I can separate the moons using the altars. You must deal with Mulamnir Fiveclaw. I will divert whatever energy I can into the Dragonhorn, but use it sparingly.
You dare to face me, morsel? Insect. Yes, brother, I will make this quick. Good job. crush these fleas, brother. You have my word. To Kushal.
protective aura, now!
Source! G-B! Source! G-B! It cannot end like this!
Good.
The equal of Akatosh!
The moons. I need to finish the ritual. Joan and Jode, hear me.
The power, it belongs to me!
Now,
You did it, Chimera!
down the
You ended the eclipse! What that means?
We are trapped, yes. But Mulamir is dead, and Kalgrontit has been defeated.
Oh, hello! You always find things in the last place you know.
Kalgrontit. I'm actually pleased to see you, Captain. Come, Chimera. Your people await their queen.
Thank you, my friends, for everything.
Queen Chimera. Have you been injured?
I am fine. Just tired. But look, the moons are no longer aligned. Tell me about the dragons, the Euraxians. What is the state of our forces?
Our scouts tell us that most of the Euraxians and dragons fled when the moons parted. Our own troops have not returned, but the Main has sent an envoy.
An envoy from the Main? If you'll excuse me, I have other business to attend to.
We did it, Five Claw! We put the moons back in motion and defeated both Mulamnir and Calgrontid. I want to thank you for everything. Elsewhere is safer today because of you. Just being on the plane of Jode clarified the memories I inherited at the Shadow Dance Temple. I saw the ritual in my mind and performed the actions. Oh, too bad the Dragonhorn did not survive. At least it lasted long enough to banish Calgrontid. He did grow larger with every infusion of power he absorbed, but the horn dislodged him from Jode's core, which allowed me to finish the ritual and end the eclipse. After that... a concern for another day, yes? I cannot be named queen without the Main's blessing. That, however, is my worry. For now, you should rest. We must honor our fallen and learn the fate of our troops at the Moongate. And after that, we will celebrate a new dawn for elsewhere. We have accomplished much, my friend. We overthrew the tyrant, Euraxia Tarn, defeated Zumog Foom and the Betrayer, even killed at least 2 dragons and made the moons move in the sky. If only I could shake this sense of impending doom. Nothing specific. Not really. I guess this sense of worry will stay with me until I know the fate of Gareshri, Zamarak, even Prefect Kalo. I would return to the Moongate, but other matters require my attention. Namely, the envoy of the Main. That is just it. I have no idea. Moons, my head pounds. The effort I exerted at Jode's core was not without a cost. Five Claw, could I convince you to determine the fate of my soldiers and our friends? I appreciate your assistance, my friend. Find out what happened to Gareshri and the others, then bring word back to me. Meanwhile, I will try to find a few moments to rest before I meet with the Main's envoy or worry about the other dragons. Far from it. But without Calgrontid and Mulamnir to lead them, they are solitary beasts without a grand plan. Colossal, dangerous beasts to be sure, but not the overwhelming force they were under their dragon leaders. There is little difference between myth and history for the Khajiit Five Claw. Whether Euraxia discovered the Kunzari stories, and that led them to the Betrayer's head, or Zumog Foom reanimated the head and then learned the tales, who can say?
It's good to see you, Five Claw. We only just returned and I have yet to report to the Queen. Chimera is alright, isn't she? We saw the moons move and the eclipse end, but we haven't heard what happened after you entered the Moon Gate. After I was caught in that dragon blast, Zamorak tended to my wounds and took command of the soldiers defending the upper ridge. I'm sorry to say that I was in and out of consciousness for most of what happened next. I know that I am still alive and grateful to be back in Rimmen. It's a miracle, thank the moons, that the city is free once more. If you want to know what really occurred at the Moon Gate, you'll need to ask Zamorak and Prefect Kelo. There are those among the troops who need the healers more than I. But perhaps a few hours in the soothing springs will restore my strength. I'll need it too. I have much to do to help Chimera restore Enequina to its former glory.
Oh, it's you. Good to see you're still among the living. I suppose you had a hand in getting the moons to finally pull apart? Hang on, I need to finish my report. I find that it's best to write it all down while it's still fresh in my mind. It's all in my report. Our troops held their ground and fought bravely. We lost many good soldiers, Khajiit and Imperial, but we did our duty. We slaughtered Euraxians by the score and kept the dragons at bay until the moons broke apart. It was crucial to our survival. When the moons separated, the dragons broke ranks. They seemed to lose their drive, their purpose. They stopped attacking and flew off. Not a moment too soon. We had exhausted both our strength and our ammunition. The ones that survived Zamorak's charge lost what remained of their courage when the dragons abandoned the field of battle. They scattered like sand roaches and ran in all directions. I doubt they'll give the militia too much trouble going forward. We still have a lot to do to heal the scars left by Euraxia and her mercenaries. I'll offer our services to Queen Chimera and Lord Garashri. Let them use us where we'll do the most good. If that's what they need. But the Cygnus Irregulars are mostly military engineers, scouts, and trainers. We have a lot more to offer a kingdom that needs to be rebuilt than just blades and shields. That was our original mission, to help elsewhere.
Zamorak is happy to see you, friend. After the dragons entered the Moon Gate and you followed, this one worried that all was lost. But then, the moons parted, and suddenly everything seemed all right. Just what you would expect. We held our ground against the swarming Euraxians and their necromancers, repelled the dragons as best we could. This one let the desert wind flow through his limbs and claws, while our soldiers rallied to his side. Between the Khajiit militia and the Cygnus Irregulars, we held them off. When the moons separated, the Euraxians broke off their attack and scattered to the four winds. The remainder will be a nuisance, but they pose no threat to the kingdom. Zamorak doesn't know for certain. We faced mostly the Euraxians on the upper ridge. Prefect Kelo commanded the ballistae, so he could tell you more. This one does know that when the moons began to separate, the dragons roared in rage and flew away. Zamorak hopes to serve as Queen Chimera's claw and defend the throne as he was trained to do. If she will not have me, well, Gareshri has many plans for improving life in elsewhere. This one would be happy to help in any way he can.
Outsider, this one must speak with you. This one never expected to set foot in the capital of Nequina again. She hoped the militia would succeed, but she didn't believe they stood a chance against the usurper queen. Kasia understands you played a significant role in these events, yes? Such wonders you have accomplished, and to have touched the face of blessed Jode. This one is in awe. Despite all that, the Main has sent me to determine what happens next. Where is Lord Gareshri, the Speaker of the Main? The healers? This one hopes the Speaker wasn't gravely injured. As for your question, we must settle the matter of Enequina's succession. Kasia must determine if Kamira is the legitimate heir to the throne, and if so, recognize her claim. Certainly. But anyone can make such a claim. To be accepted by the Khajiit, she must be recognized by the Main. With Gareshri indisposed, will you stand with Kamira and vouch for her heritage? If so, please tell her I am ready to meet with her. Before you return to Kamira's side, this one requests an additional favor. The Main gave Kasia a sealed letter for Abner Dar, but he refuses to see me. I understand that you and he share a special bond. Perhaps you could deliver the letter. The specifics concern the Tharn alone, and its impact on Khajiit society. The moons hold great sway over the Khajiit born under them. What does this mean for those born during this eclipse? No matter what caused the eclipse, Joan and Jode joined as one. When this occurs naturally, one born then may become the next Main. But during a false eclipse, succession becomes a concern. The Main hopes Tharn can explain the arcane implications. The Main cannot be everywhere at once. That is what the Speaker and the envoys are for. For now, the Main's duties do not include Enequina. But know that the Main's heart is everywhere in Elsewhere. Now, please.
Abner, you simply must stay for the ceremony. It's not every day we get to see a lovely cat receive a crown.
Nonsense. And don't call me Abner. Besides, I think you and Cadwell, the two of you just can't leave well enough alone. No one was supposed to notice as I slipped out of Rimini. Of course, very little has gone according to plan since the Wrathstone tablets set me on this path. I am neither sentimental nor enamored of pomp and circumstance. My time in Elsewhere has shown me that I have limits. I am not the battle mage I was in my younger days. Besides, I hate parties, small talk, speeches, canapes, totally unbearable. I watched firsthand as a remarkable young woman became a leader. She's already a queen. Everything else is simply ceremony. I've lingered here long enough. You were an able enough traveling companion. I may call on you again sometime. An intriguing question. Are Khajiit born under a forced eclipse next in line for the Main? But this other bit confirms my suspicions. I must travel to Palatine at once. I'm sure we'll see each other again. Until then, farewell. We accomplished much, but I fear we haven't seen the last of Calgrontide. I must investigate reports coming from the south. You, however, have a queen to crown. Take Cadwell with you and make sure he behaves. And tell Kamira she did admirably. We saw no body, and there's no reason to suppose Calgrontide couldn't escape from Jode just as we did. He absorbed a remarkable amount of energy while the moons were aligned, after all. I'll send for you if and when I confirm my suspicions.
I assure you, Kasia, my wounds are healing quite nicely.
Nevertheless, this one has asked the Outlander to stand beside Chimera, should I decide to give the Main's blessing.
Garishri told me you found them. He filled me in on what happened during the battle at the Moon Gate. Dragons and necromancers, I understand. But politics and coronations, they twist my tail, and their regalia. It pinches! Moons, I miss my leathers! I am having many thoughts, but I know what I must do. Like Anequina and my other ancestors before me, I must stand tall and accept my responsibilities with humility and grace. Provided the Main's envoy confirms my right to the throne. The woman is inscrutable. I think she just wants to see me suffer until she acquiesces and places the crown on my head. Before the full weight of the kingdom falls upon my shoulders, I want to tell you something. I want you to know I appreciate everything you have done for Elsewhere. For me, I do not believe we would have survived without your assistance. Now, I understand the envoy asked you to stand beside me at the ceremony. Are you ready, my friend?
Five Claw, a word. The healers were able to do wonders, my friend. I almost feel like my old self again. I will secure Kamira's claim. You just stand beside her and support her. She values your presence, as do I. But where is Kamira? I expected you to bring her in.
Who will confirm that Kamira is the daughter of King Hemekar and the rightful heir to the throne of Anequina?
I will, as her guardian all these years, and as the Speaker of the Main. Kamira is the rightful heir. Come forth, daughter of Hemekar and Numara. Come forth, child of Anequina.
Kamira, do you accept the duties of the throne? Will you lead this kingdom and protect its people?
I do, and I will.
Know then that the Main accepts and recognizes your claim. All hail Kamira, Queen of Anequina!
I promise to serve our people, and I offer thanks to all who helped achieve our recent victories. Finally, there is one I wish to honor. One whose assistance in these matters was unprecedented and invaluable. Five Claw, my comrade and friend, please, approach the throne. Courageous Five Claw, I will make sure your deeds are sung by my people. They will be told from one generation to the next. As Kunzari passed into legend, so too will you. Then say nothing, my friend. Just know that you helped deliver my homeland from tyranny. You helped me avenge my parents. You saved us from dragons and undead. We will never forget that. You appeared when elsewhere needed you most. In our most desperate time of troubles, you helped restore our nation. You will always have a place here, my friend. And I want you to accept the greatest award I can offer. I name you Champion of Anequina. There are still dragons to kill and Euraxians to deal with, but now it is time to celebrate. Take a few moments, talk to our friends, then enjoy yourself, champion. You earned it. It is time for different adventures, Five Claw. I must lead my people and erase the memories of the usurper queen. May her name be blotted from the histories. Of course, I may find time to slip away and explore a ruin or two. Every now and again. Just what you would expect. I listen to problems and I try to find solutions. I suppose I must coordinate with our allies in the Dominion at some point, and there are still stray dragons and Euraxian deserters to deal with. So, the usual things. And all hail Five Claw, whom I name Champion of Anequina!